Hey everyone, this is Oak Norton with Scripture Notes, and I am really excited to show you our brand new feature, which is public collection notes. So in the last training, I showed you how to share a collection note, and we now have public collection notes, which are the next logical step from sharing collection notes. So when you click the share button on a collection note right up here with the little share link, it pops open this box that has all of the settings for the collection note that you're going to share. And we now have this button that says Make Collection Public. So this is what will set your collection note, your shared collection note, with a flag that says go ahead and display this in the public section. Now I'm going to demonstrate this and how it works and give you some guidelines on how what's appropriate to share here and what you shouldn't, because this is making it very public. You might share something privately with someone with giving them a link, but it wouldn't always be appropriate to put that in a public setting. So there's a little bit of a distinction here. Eventually there will be a moderation system for this, so that if somebody posts something that doesn't quite feel right, you can sort of flag it, and it will come to me or a moderator and allow us to say, yeah, we probably shouldn't put this here, or it's okay, and we'll deal with that. But for right now, it's kind of the Wild West, and so it's kind of anything goes. People can post things, and there isn't really a moderation system. So let's just look at a few things here, and I'll demonstrate this. So let me cover a couple things that I did in the last training video. And so you can share a master note and the scriptures. You can share the scriptures only. You can put an expiration date as to when that particular note should stop being shared, and that will affect if it's shared publicly as well as privately. Or you can say it should never have an expiration date and it's fine to just be perpetually out there. You can make the collection note public, and you can set it to be read-only. Allow no changes to the master note. I'm going to give you some guidelines on this. It will also say how your name will appear for other users, and that's in your user setting on your dashboard. Over here, you've got account settings. That's where you should use your real name, okay? And I don't have a good way to verify that it's your real name, but if you're sharing something under the name John Doe or some Mickey Mouse name, those are going to get removed. So please share things using your real name, and just be honest. Just share the content that you feel like. Now, if you want your shared note to differ from your personal note, you can do that by clicking this Edit Shared Master Note, and you can actually save a different version of your note that is more appropriate for the public. So you might have things in a certain language and say, oh, let me tweak this a little bit for the public one. That's where you would do it. And then just scroll down and click on either generate link or save and get link. So anytime you want to, you can change these settings. Like if you said never, you might come in and say, I want to expire this in a week. Or right now, just click the stop sharing button. You could say, I didn't make this public before, but now I will. Or I made it read-only, now I'm going to turn that off. And so doing those things and clicking save and get link will update that collection note. So what does this look like? Let me hit cancel here. What does this look like? So my collections are the notes that I've been working on that are my own. Shared collection notes, on the other hand, are the ones that I have shared, and you can see a lot of these say public next to them because I just finished this big project, and so those are all in the public space. If it doesn't say public, I've shared it privately. If I click on public now, I can see all of the public collection notes from me and from other people. And you can grab these three bars over here if you want to expand that pane a bit so that they appear. I know these are there's a little bit more content on these. It'll say who the author is or who created that collection note, how many verses are in it, and how many times it's been saved. So you can kind of keep track of what's a popular collection note. Maybe just as you're looking at things, It doesn't have a date here at this time, but so it's kind of hard to know like when it was first created. But you can, up at the top, sort by different methods, see what's new, what's old. And that doesn't mean that the quality of a collection note is bad if there's not many saves. It could easily just be not many people have seen it. So I can do multiple types of searches in here. Like I could do a title search. I'll just put in the word temple because I saw that on a note, and it would find any note that had the word temple. I can click on a tag listing, and I can look for specific tags, and there's not that many in here right now, and these are just reflective of me being the only one that's contributed to the public notes at this moment because it just launched. And I can also select from the author. So I could filter for an author, like I'll do that, and it refreshed, found the same notes because that's what's there. Then I could say, okay, I want to see everything in here on faith. And there's one note by Oak Norton with the tag faith. I could also remove the author, and it would just find all of the tags that have faith for that collection note. So you can use these two filters in conjunction with each other along with the title search and bring down the scope of how many things you're finding. There's more to come on this in the future. Looking at a way to also allow, like when you click on see notes next to a verse, you've got your collection notes here, and they're in the future I hope to have a public collection notes area there. If you choose to turn that on, that would show you what's available related to that verse, or at least what collection notes have that verse in it, and it might spark something for you. So let me give you a couple other tidbits here. Some people are going to say, well, what should I share? What should I not share? And so let me give you a couple of guidelines. Think about this. You're opening content from other users. First of all, do you want to be able to edit it or be locked into their note? So if you're sharing content, how would you want to receive it? I know there's times when something should be read-only because of the way you're presenting it, or trying to make sure it's sort of digitally locked, but in general, it's probably a best practice to not put read-only on collection notes that you share with other people. Let them be able to modify it. And everybody just needs to understand that if it says, shared by Oak Norton, and you've made changes to it, it's just who did it originate with, not this is exactly what they gave me. If you want to preserve exactly what you gave someone and make sure they never modify it and stuff, then make it read-only. But there's some really good reasons to not make something read-only, because I might see something in your note and I say, well, I disagree with this insight. I just want to take it out of there. Or I might have additional insights I want to type into that master note, and I can't because of the way that it was saved. So you can always, from a read-only note, click on bulk move next to the verses. If I hit bulk move, this little window pops up, and I can grab all of the verses in a collection note and just put it in a new collection note. And then I could copy paste some of the master note content over into my own note where I can edit it. So that's always available to people, even if you don't want them to edit your master note, which is fine if that's the way you want to present your note to other people. So they would just create a collection note and then bulk move all the verses over. So that's a handy feature. If you didn't know it's there, that's where it is. Okay. Another reason to not make your notes read-only is sometimes you might be in here, and let me pop up, is it this one? Yes, this is one example. Here I've got some quotes. You might have your own quotes that you want to add to this note. That would be a great thing to do. And so I would not mark this read-only. I would just share this out, and it says shared right here. And then you can add your own notes to it as well. Another example. This one poses questions like, how do weak things become strong? In what ways where are our doubts a barrier to overcoming our weaknesses or our weakness? and there's 7 verses here. So you could go down through these verses and just answer those questions and update that note in your own collection. So now in the future, if you're ever writing a talk or preparing a lesson, you might say, oh, here's a great question I can pose, and then thoughts that you've had as you've reviewed these scriptures, and then it's all ready for you. You're like essentially creating future content for you to use and insights that you can use when it's appropriate. So what are some things that you should not share? Well, you don't want to share things that are going to tear down faith or introduce doubt. That's kind of a no-brainer. Don't share things that you've seen online that are like making people question their testimonies of Christ. You know, there's plenty of places, plenty of forums to do that. This forum is for building faith. Don't share overly personal content. You know, don't put your life story or your failings into a collection note. If you have a very relevant story that you want to share, you could share a portion of it and show how that situation turned around by faith. That might be okay, but in general, that's what social media is for. This isn't quite the same as social media, like a Facebook post or something like that, where people typically gush their life on. And so this is a little bit more focused here as we're trying to share scriptures and insights, not necessarily too many personal things. So everybody has something to contribute to this type of effort. It's sort of, I don't want to necessarily say the democratizing of scriptural insight, but I am trying to create a forum here where things can be shared specifically that allow people to share insights into the scriptures. And this feature will grow in the future into a very cool feature that I'm not going to share at this moment, but I promise you it's going to be very cool. But for now, just share what you feel is useful that would help enhance people's understanding and insight into the scriptures and build their testimonies of Jesus Christ and help them to gain insights into the scriptures. There's lots of ways to do that. So let's just keep this a positive public forum and share really awesome content with people. Thanks for watching.